Mute. Just started the live. Just started the live. And it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. I can feel it. I can feel it in my ligaments and my tendons. Because you know how most people say you can feel it in your bones. So I just had to switch it up a little bit. I had to switch it up a little bit. Good morning, live, or good afternoon, depending on what time you're viewing this at. I'm just playing. About a minute and some change until news. Got a really, really, really hot news folder today. New York Empire State Manufacturing Index. Marcus, what is so hot about it? Well, if you've been following any of that port strike, everything going on with just shipments, and the ability for specifically manufacturers in New York and New Jersey receiving their shipments. They're just unable to produce products, make products. So that porting strike has affected. But prior to that, there was already seen a contraction within the manufacturing industry, which has resulted in the current consensus previously from the previous month, 11.5. Like they've seen a significant um, slowdown, cooling off. We'll use their terminology in that industry. So anything above this consensus, strong dollar, strong dollar. Anything below that consensus, depending on how far off, may impact the dollar heavily. May impact the dollar heavily. I'm not going to take any particular trades on news, but we would definitely gauge it. And here we go. Holy shiznit. Oh my gosh. Sell, 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 sell. I'm not a financial advisor. Please take trades at your own risk. I am not telling you what trades to take. I'm just telling you what I would do if it were me. Right. But look at this, guys. Look at this. Which brings me back to the porting to the port, right? I'm gonna go ahead and take a sell. Um, the consensus to actual really, really far off than what um that actual forecast. Let me get back to that. Hold on one sec. I want to pull up one thing, check my yen. So I got my yen right here on Matif pulled up. So as we see, our yen has been dominating the last, day of price so far. It's been controlling it for the last handful of hours, so that's good there. You can see on this side here, I am in a sell right now on this current um on UJ. I'm gonna sell on UJ right now. And as we see, on my screen, we moved once again, decision-making levels acting as magnets and force fields. If you view this call more than once already, and you've heard me talk about that, but once again, we see price moves all the way down here to this 15-minute level, right? And then stops, turns around, moves all the way back up to that 8-hour level. And what I'm not going to let this do is correct right now, just because it's volatile. So I just secure my profit on that. I'm not going to let it correct just because of the volatility. I have my sentiment based on UJ selling. I love UJ sells. Um, but I did see this maybe trying to correct, and I'm not gonna let it. We'll scale back in. Scale back in there. Relativity. Check 5 minute. Check dollar. Yeah, I love this play. Look to take it right back down to this 15-minute level. Looking like 148.9. Let the take profit. The reason I'm so heavy on sales, it's like, let me pull this up. I probably can't even see my screen, huh? That's hilarious. Sorry about that. Let's go like this, though. We'll just show the desktop. Makes it easier for me. And so the reason I'm so heavy on sales, right? So heavy on sales, just simply the macro aspect, and then just all right. If I remove the macro aspect from it, and I just look at my chart, right, and I'm just gauging like price action and how price communicates with my levels, right? I see that price stops here, stops here, sells off. Right. So like based on that, I love a sell because we're moving away from this decision making level. But why? Like, why are we moving away from that decision making level? Will we keep moving away from that decision making level? What will influence movement continuously away from this decision making level? That's when I think about the macros, right? Because macros take care of my high time frame, bird's eye, right? Complete outlook of what is really influencing price, right? What is really influencing price right now? This current photo that we just got, right? New York Empire State Manufacturing Index. It's going to take 200 of the manufacturing, I don't know if it's companies or factories. I don't know what the term would be, but it's going to take 200 of those within the New York and New Jersey districts. And it's basically going to give us the either expansion or contraction of the manufacturing industry. And like I said a little bit ago, prior to news, prior to news, right? That's important to know that I said this prior to news because what I mentioned had nothing to do with price. It had everything to do with something that we all have been noticing. And that is what's going on with the port strike, right? There's like a 67% increase in wages, right? Because like I don't really have complete reasoning. Actually, hold that thought. Actually, I'll hold that thought because I do. I was gonna say I don't have. I do. I was actually looking at this. All right, so I'm gonna read as I'm still in a cell. Really, really like this cell. Let me do this real quick because I got my annotation in the way. I so 1 minute, if you guys have viewed these live calls before, I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. I think, I think I'm not gonna say it. Not yet. Never mind. No, I'm not gonna say that yet. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that yet. Anyways, um, this price, 149.1 like seven, is the area that I will reevaluate this entry if it does move there and corrects there. That's just a decision making level. Now it's on my 1 minute, so very, very fragile time frame there. So I do want to see that this area hold price below it. But I'm not like it's not the end of the world if it doesn't, because I know the fragility of that um area, right? And then I have that same area on my 5 minute too. That's what's anytime something like this happens where I have an area created at the same, like how I create my decision making levels, right? Three candle structure, one, two, three. However, on the 1 minute, exactly where this is high, like I didn't highlight this just now, right? I highlighted this just now, right? But because of the level that it's at, this is the 5 minute. This is the 1 minute level I highlighted on the 5 minute, right? So the exact same way I find my decision making levels to tell me, okay, this is a point of when buyers or sellers are going to make a decision to take over price, or we're going to continue to move sideways because both are equally making a decision. That's how I determine it. That's what acts as magnets and force fields. That's how I determine it. Every horizontal line on my chart, besides the ones that are like entries, are determined by the three candle structure, right? And so anytime I see that on top of each other, I'm good on this entry. Like I'm confident, not in a way that I'm not going to analyze the information the market gives me to either validate or um, invalidate my entry and my analysis. I want to be careful when I say something like I'm confident about this entry, um, because we still want to be open to what will invalidate our entry. Um, but I love this entry. I love this entry. And so that's that. Still in my cell. All right. But I'm gonna read this real quick. And so this has to do with the port strike, right? What I'm about to read right now has to do with the port strike. It says the recent port strikes along the U.S. East and Gulf Coast, which began early in October 2024, have had significant, that's a major word. Words have meaning, right? Significant impact on supply chains, especially for the manufacturing sector in New York. Well, would you look at that? Especially for the manufacturing sector in New York. What I looked up had no relation to me trying to seek out to see if the manufacturing index and and what was going on with the port, like I didn't put those in the same sentence. Like I simply just sought out the knowledge of what's going on with that port strike and how is that affecting the economy, right? Um, and so these strikes involving over 50,000 longshoremen and longshoremen, they're part of the International Longshoremen's Association. I'm assuming that it has to do with shipments, right? I didn't look into the IMF or the ILA, excuse me. I didn't look into that yet. But I just took my context clues and I know what that is. I know what that means. Have disrupted the flow of parts, components, and other goods, affecting delivery times and the availability of raw materials critical to manufacturing. Ports like New York and New Jersey have particularly impacted And with labor negotiations ongoing, supply chains are expected to remain strained in the near term, right? As we're seeing price stagger off. And I'm going to collect some profit here in a second. Why? Because I'm looking at my 1 minute and I'm seeing how much volume we're losing on my seller's side. I'm looking at my 5 minute and I'm seeing the inefficient price action that we have to correct, right? And so I don't need to wait, right? I don't need to wait. Why don't I need to wait? Because I secured 95 cents of my account already. So let's just reverse back to what I started the day at. So, because I'm pretty sure I'm already at my target for today, which is 3%. Um, I have a max daily trade limit of 3 trades a day, and I'm already at two, which is fine. All right. Um, because I've been really decisive. I normally like to stay in my positions a little bit longer, but it's fine because I still have another trade that I'm able to take. The reason why I think we're stopping at this area, it just continues to validate the reason why I use this three candle structure. I can't stress this enough. Bow, right? 5 minute chart. It doesn't matter what time frame you're viewing it on. The three candle structure, there's no system like it when we're finding levels. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it, that it's the best way you can find your levels. The best way, the easiest way that you can find your levels. Because I'm literally looking for a three candle structure at any time frame, right? And what are we seeing? And what made me look for this here? I saw price struggling. Anytime price is struggling, it's for a reason. It's because it's moving on an area where there's pressure against it. Right. So anytime there's pressure against it, I want to look to see where that resistance, right, comes in at. I want to see where that resistance comes in at. And so this 5 minute, we just got weak sellers volume on my 5 minute. So I love us correcting right back to that area of inefficient price action, right? And I'll look to take something like this if we do. And that'll be my entry point, my next entry point. If we can get back up to 146.25, I'll look to enter another sell on UJ. Let's check the dollar. Dollar giving us some bullish momentum, which I like because I just got out, right? Bullish momentum goes against my sell position on UJ, right? So I'm good with that. But I do also understand that that manufacturing index folder that I'm about to get back to when it comes to the port and stuff took a major hit, like major. Their consensus was it dropped 9 points already, but it dropped significant. It dropped what, like, let me see, what is that? 20? Is that 20 points? It dropped, it was 20 points lower than they, or let's see, no, it was about 13 points lower than they had anticipated, 14.2. That is significant. Kind of what I said earlier before the call began, like before the news came out, I said anything above it, anything above that consensus was going to support the dollar because of how impactful that sector has been, like how much of a hit they've taken. Anything above that would have been like, oh, let's go dollar. Anything, not anything. Now, depending on how far it was off of the consensus on the negative side is where I was like, okay, that is when we may see some negative pressure on the dollar. And so that's my current sentiment right now. And this is on more of like a daily scale for the dollar is bearish just because of that manufacturing index. But one thing I want to see a little bit later today, as we're looking at my news, is this monthly budget statement. The reason I'm bringing that up is because their consensus has us in the positive for the first time in, let's see how long. October 20th of 2023. Our monthly budget statement, which measures income from the Fed and spending, right? It measures that surplus or the deficit. Um, we've been in a deficit since October of 2023. Has us in the consensus has us finally in a surplus, which I believe will bring strength to our dollar, right? If it comes out that way. If it comes out that way. So back to what I was saying about supporting stuff, right? Let me read this real quick. I'm not in any entries right now. I actually need to blow my nose real quick. So one sec.
Yeah, I think I've had my camera on for a decent amount of time. I'm over here trying to be a content creator, trying to create some content for us. But finally sat down comfy in my chair, looking at gold, particularly to trade. In a trade in which I'm in some drawdown right now. Going back to last Thursday evening. God damn it. I'm so pissed off because I found a pattern in my trade log and the afternoon sessions where I'm not sitting down and focused, those positions don't typically work well for me. But this position is aligned with my kind of big picture sentiment on gold as we move down to the rest of the year. So I've kind of expanded my mental time frame with this particular trade. Have the room to absorb the drawdown. Of course, monitoring it minute by minute, which is always fun to do, right? But no, I do have room to get in here and execute. We'll execute on small lots, 0.01, micro, as small as we can get, just so I don't get into any trouble here when it comes to my margin. Like I said, I still have plenty of room, but here talking risk management and talking the preciousness of our funds. It takes great care, great accountability over every single dollar that's in your account. So that's what I'm looking at as we'll continue on here, and watch price action move along, seeing the dollar reject off this daily level as Marcus was talking about. Um, yeah, in for a good one here. Any more macro
Yeah,
news for the day? I guess for this session.
not for this session, no. Mm-mm. I was gonna say the inflation expectations, but it's a low impact folder and it's at 8, so
Um,
not really much there. Um,
it's a pretty light week still.
yeah, it is a pretty light week.
Um,
Thursday or wait, is that Monday? I was gonna say Thursday, of course, we get our unemployment um, news, which labor market is a heavy, you know, indicator right now for our economy, um, and the growth and contraction of the labor market. Um, like I said, I want to enter another sell once price gets to 149.25. Let me actually look to see what numbers I entered in earlier. 149.13, 149.28. I don't really like those numbers. Whatever. I love this that I just got. Let me get rid of something real quick. This. I love that cross that just happened. I love that. Back up here. Oh, you said something about the oh, I love this. I love this so much. So look at this correction that we've had on our MACD. I love this so much. I'm gonna be entering another sell. I know I will soon because now I'm getting seller's volume, not actually, but I'm getting the weakening of the buying pressure from my MACD here. I'm just gonna say this. If you're somebody that uses this right here, this volume oscillator, or no, not that. This, no, not that. It's the one that comes on Trading View. If you're using that, just please switch to the MACD. MACD is so fire for our volume. To Q's point a little bit ago, the dollar moved on a 10-week um, price area, like a 10-week high. So where our dollar is currently setting, it's the high of the last 10 weeks ago. It's the high of price. Um, but the area that we're moving away from, which I'm really heavy on the dollar right now. And me and Q were talking a little bit yesterday about it, about why we're so heavy on the dollar. When we think of election on the way and um just what's to come for the strengthening and how our dollar can gain strength,
Mhm.
right? Like how. Um, and but just chart wise, I noticed this a few days ago, and I just saw that this area that the dollar is at now, like all of this, but mainly these points when price kept coming down, 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 and it kept coming down, but it kept stopping. I'm just like, okay, why did it keep stopping here? Right. But then if we look right over to this level, right, this is COVID. This is COVID years. And I love that we haven't broken below that because that was a really, really dramatic time. And so the fact that we haven't broken below that does give me confidence that we will stay above that because we will need significant um, pressure negatively on the dollar to, in my opinion, break below that area. Right. So I love that it's holding its ground there on that weekly level from our dollar. Oh, we are getting something that I really like to see.
Gold kind of rejected back down into this kind of accumulation zone towards the bottom side of it. We'll see if dollar wants to turn bullish here. Could continue to see gold kind of correct some of the bullish movement from last night. Uh, but we'll
You said
see.
you were not buyer, so
Yeah,
on
I got you.
gold.
I'm in a sell at 26.34. 26.34. Overnight, it got down to 26.37. About there, I'd alert on right at break even. But I'm gonna keep this puppy in there. Uh, yeah, keep this guy riding, keep it rolling. Only on a point 0.02, so my we got plenty of room to withstand some drawdown here. Of course, monitoring it, but not in too big a danger right now. 26.34 and some change.
You just got some good sellers movement from the dollar just now, getting some
Mhm.
good selling pressure. I just entered a sell a second ago on UJ. Be my third and final trade for the day. Which damn, that happened quick. Three trades max, daily max for me. No matter how quick it happens. Normally I don't, take my profit so quickly, but no harm, no foul. I'm all good. I had reasoning behind why I did take my profit. And right after I did take my profit, it corrected. So
Mm.
I want to see. Let's see here. Looking at something before. Damn it.
Really
Uh,
plays.
mm. I'll just look to take this current sell down to 149 and then see how it then reacts to that decision making level again.
USD CAD, brother. That's crazy.
What you doing?
Just if you just look at the 1 hour time frame on USD CAD, going back to October 3rd, it's like it's a
He said it's a ramp.
ramp, but all like no like huge candles at all, really. It's
Oh
all
my goodness.
tick 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 tick.
Damn. At 379 pips.
This is good for my Montreal trip, huh? I'll take it.
Facts. Dollar gaining some strength against that Canadian. What do they call it?
Uh,
The
it's just the Canadian dollar.
uh, that was like the Zula or something. I don't know where that name came from.
Watch it actually be that.
Bruh. Mm,
Yeah, just the Canadian dollar.
yes.
Huge.
Check Matter really quick.
The sun will come out tomorrow. The sun will come out tomorrow. Tomorrow. Oh man, it's locked in. Mr. Donald J. Trump is in the seat come November 5th.
Man, that's a done data.
Bombshell.
That's this thing freaking what's her name is about to get on a pod with Joe Rogan.
There's that. Kamala.
Yeah, yeah.
Bro. She'll spit some shit out of her beak.
Yeah.
It's what I think is gonna be. People will see through it.
Still space.
A lot of
I,
reasons.
I think I was seeing like the amount of it was like I don't know what exactly it was, but you know at the gym how they just love having news on at the gym.
Mhm,
Like for some reason. I hate that, by the way.
mhm,
So all gyms, if you're watching this, I'm a current member at EOS and I'll look to terminate my membership if I keep, no, I'm just playing. But the fact that there's just always news on, I always run into CNN and Fox News are talking. There's like some percentage that they were showing where Kamala was actually favored it. Um, and that type of stuff is always funny to me because I don't really take the news serious, um, especially like a Fox News or a CNN. So just seeing that, it's like, what are people basing their, you know, voting on, or like
mhm,
how can they gauge that without even voting, right? How can they gauge who's the favorite? I never really understood that.
mhm,
Um, but when we're talking about actually economic like structure, I think from what I understand of why our dollar is so weak, like the policies that I've heard, Trump have for his presidency, they just bring strength to the dollar. So I'm really just looking at that and yeah,
mhm.
no,
And then I
definitely.
think when you think of strength of the dollar, strength of the US dollar, how do you perceive that? Do you perceive that as a good thing? Do you perceive that as a bad thing? Or do you just perceive it as, hey, this is just information for me to use?
I That's a good question actually. I feel like on the based on just me viewing it for the market, I kind of just look at it as how is that going to influence, just strictly the chart. But when I think about like, daily life, I feel like, I want my money to have more value. Like I want my dollar to have more value, especially the fact that our dollar is the reserve currency of the world,
Mhm,
right? So against any other currency, any other economy, like I expect my dollar to be far more valuable than other economies.
mhm,
Um, being that, you know, yeah, that's kind of what knowing that our dollar like is losing value.
mhm,
Um, yeah, like I feel like that just there's no like it's as straightforward as it can be. Like a weak dollar, like why would you want to be part of anything that is not providing you the greatest value
Mhm.
if you are in possession of it. All right. So that's kind of my thoughts behind it.
Yeah, I like that. I feel like the pragmatic approach, so that one that says, hey, I'm an American, I'm a US citizen. I utilize the US dollar
Yeah.
99.5% of every single day that I live on this earth. I want my currency to be of more value than any other currency. So if I go somewhere, it's cheaper for
Exactly.
me. Um, yeah, yeah. Um, as far as like, is it good or bad?
Yeah.
And I want to put on the live that we take no political stance publicly as a
Facts.
company, and even individually.
Yeah.
Um, I'm somebody that says right down in the middle, and I'll utilize my judgment and exercise my right to vote, as we all should. But again, yeah, no official position from coming from Bloom entities here.
Yeah.
Um, but, what we do want to do though is provide information regarding what the market's talking about, right?
Hmm.
And because at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do here. We're not trying to formulate social political opinions. We're trying to utilize and leverage this information to create an environment in the financial markets where we can have great edge and be successful and compound our money over time, achieving our time and financial freedom relentlessly. Uh, but yeah, so I'm right there with you in terms of your answer. Um, as we continue to grow on the macro side of things, I think there'll be more. There'll be a little bit more context we'll be able to add towards the good or bad, and when. I think the when is a big part.
Mm.
Of analyzing the good or bad of the dollar gaining or losing value. And I'm being super vague here, but
Yeah.
this is kind of the space we're in. There's just so many macro
So
indicators,
many.
many different things impacting the market. To look at a few mere metrics is we know we've been in this long enough, we've done enough research, and we have the knowledge up to this point to understand that it's not just a couple things that are impacting the market. It's a whole lot, a whole lot.
Yeah.
So as we get better, our the context behind the answer to this question will get better and better.
Yeah. And even if as I'm sitting here thinking even more, like how much other countries rely on us for like for us purchasing from them
Mhm.
and vice versa, the good and bad. Kind of just want to continue to untangle the knots on why it's important for us to remain dominant,
Mhm.
in with our currency. So yeah, no, I'm glad you said that though. So I know we've talked about, a number of different times on these live calls with, President Harris or President Trump. And we've kind of built our at least for me, and you could probably attest to this, just our sentiment on who could be the potential president based on how it's, you know, who has more direction for the dollar,
Mhm.
you know. So
Have you ever heard of the term cathedral thinking?
mm-mm.
Uh,
Cathedral thinking. Elaborate on that.
So cathedral thinking. So Huberman just dropped a dope episode. I've listened to about half of it last night with a gentleman by the name of um, remember. Wait, why is this? Oh, it's on my other phone. I was like, why is this episode not the first one that popped up? But the fella's name is Ari Wallach. And it's titled "Create Your Ideal Future Using Science-Based Protocols."
Mm.
Um, but the dude Ari Wallach, he brought up this concept of cathedral thinking. He's a let's call him a scientist that specializes in kind of long-term planning of society and guiding people through living the present, but building a future for not only themselves, but for humankind. So this concept of cathedral thinking, if I did say it simply in 3 words, it's volume times time. But cathedral thinking is the mindset that involves long-term planning, collaboration, and patience to achieve a grand vision. So the term comes from, it's like back in, let's say, 100,000 years ago, maybe not that far. But, you see these big, and of course, the two world wars, two great world wars, kind of did some damage to these places. But the big cathedrals, that were built, calling the 1700s, 1600s, 1500s, beautiful, handcrafted, literally brick by brick laid by hand cathedrals and buildings and stuff like that. And so the original kind of the inception of the idea, the original leader of the project, called him the contractor back in those days. These places took 150, 200 years to build from start to finish. And so these guys, they have a vision for something. They have a vision for this beautiful cathedral, and they work their entire life on this cathedral. It's their life's work,
Mm.
but they'll never be able to see it finished. They'll never be able to
Mm.
see that final product be done. Um, and uh, so I don't know if he's the doctor. I don't want to call him Dr. Wallach, but Ari Wallach. He's saying that it's more like that is what we all have to get more comfortable with.
Mm.
Uh, and I'm leading this into our Bloom principle of the day. So I would say that, but um, we need to release our desire for attribution, or release our desire to, get that pat on the back, to get that your name on the wall, to um, get the medal, get the glory, be quote unquote known for a couple
Mm.
decades. Um, we need to be okay with, working our butt off, not for the accolades, not for the attribution, but just for the mere betterment of humans and society,
Mm.
and the longevity of us as a human race. Right. You boil things down, like our time on this earth is not very long.
Yeah.
Um, and I think we're in an age now where we don't really have a lot of care, just at the surface level, right? A lot
Yeah.
of care and worry about 500 years from now, right? He brought up this interesting stat, so our kids on average will have 2.2 kids, 2.2 kids. So you think 500 years from now,
Mm.
okay, let me see if I can do this math, but I think there will be about 50,000 of your descendants in about 500 years from now. 50,000 descendants coming from your blood right now.
Damn.
What, how are we going to create a better future for all of them?
Yeah.
what are we gonna do? How are we gonna make our impact?
That's real,
Not for
bro.
notoriety, not for accolades, not for a name on the wall, but for those 500,000 descendants. It's a big
Mm.
population. You know, if we all took a little bit more care, that 500,000, it's 100,000, two people, three people, 150,000, four people, 200,000 descendants that will be impacted by the things that we do, the mindsets we possess, the actions we do. So this concept of cathedral thinking, and it's really a beautiful concept. It's something I've kind of been thinking about over the last 24 hours. But I'm doing this principle of the day, so I
No,
I'd share.
I love that, bro. Like, yeah, damn. So each and every person, 50,000, 2.2 kids. Give me that data again. 2.2 kids over the next 500 years.
So just on average, so not
Yeah.
thinking about like years, your Caden will have 2.2 kids.
Mm,
My my son or daughter will have 2.2 kids each. Just like on average, if you average the amount of kids people have, it's about
yeah.
2.2. If you think, 2.2 times two in your case, let's call it,
Mm,
and so it's times it just you can see how the numbers kind of compound
facts,
you get to
facts.
that 200 that 50 grand, the 50,000, not 50 grand. It's like 50 grand talking about people, but that 50,000. But yeah, man. Yeah. Give up your desire for attribution. That's what he said. I thought that was beautiful. Especially in today's age with social media, man.
Right.
Everything is done for attribution. Validation is given through attribution, uh, and which is just tough, which is tough. But this guy being kind of a longevity history specialist, and I agree with him. There's no better time to be alive than right now. With all the problems we have, all the social media, all the BS, all the Trump, Kamala, all the China, the nuclear weapons, there
Yeah.
is no better time to be alive than right now. I think it behoove us not to take advantage of where we're at in our history and our evolution.
No, I definitely feel that. I
That's
feel
just
like
me.
it's a very transcending time. One of those times we'll look back and they feel very, very like what we were living through those moments of change.
Mhm.
Cathedral thinking.
Yes. Yes. Well, bro, just think for the entire 1900s, bro, we were at war. That was not that long ago. Not that long
Yeah.
ago. And of course we had, Afghanistan, the war of the Middle East that we were involved in as the United States. But you have two great world wars, Vietnam, a handful of other conflicts we were involved in. Just Cold War you could throw in there, even though it wasn't a physical bullets flying everywhere type of conflict. Um, but yeah, man, it just makes me, especially, and being a United States citizen, even more so, makes me very fortunate, to have grown up in Phoenix, Arizona, in a middle class family,
Yeah.
and have a life not too much with relatively no trauma in my life growing up. I'm up to this point, which I'm so appreciative for. And bro, it hasn't always been like this. I'm watching a movie right now. I got about an hour into it last night before I went to bed. Called The
Mm,
Deer Hunters. It was filmed in 1978, I believe, or 70. Yeah, 78. It's about like these middle class guys who go off to Vietnam and fight in the war. I haven't gotten to that for the Vietnam part, but I'm just kind of observing. Movies are a fantastic gauge into society, more or less. Like, of course, it's dramatized and everything, but in like an era piece like that, 1978, you get a good gauge into what life was like in 1978, in the 1970s, 1980s.
Mm.
Bro, these guys are working on steel, infrastructure, just the need for infrastructure and the amount of just working class people, blue collar workers that work.
Yeah.
You, you throw
Mm.
you throw some of these kids nowadays in that environment, man. It's at the very least, it's not going to be what they want to do.
Yeah.
um, but you had to for the betterment of your city. Your city needed infrastructure, and their city then needed men to um, you know, pour this iron, pour this steel,
Mm.
craft this, cut this, chop this wood, because it was a necessity. The technology just wasn't there to do it for us.
Mm.
And then you look at the woman, and I'm a lover, and I'm all for just women being empowered in anything they want to do, and I believe they you know I'm aligned with that line of thinking for us.
Mm.
Um, I'm not just saying that so I don't get canceled. Trust me. But no, no. But I will say that there's definitely, and that doesn't detract um, from a man's desire to a man's need to provide and be the head. I think I'm traditional in that way as well. But in the 1970s, woman should get smacked in the head, and you know for talking back, or not done doing something, or maybe not smacked in the head, but not be able to speak her mind, voice
Yeah.
her opinion, and be heard. Bro, that was 40 years ago. Like, that was not that long ago. Um, just the rights and the things we've been fortunate to see happen throughout history socially. Man, we've come such a long way. Um, man, it's yeah, unfortunate. Unfortunate.
Yeah, no, I hear you, bro. It's just crazy.
But there's something else that was dope too. Oh, and they were talking about just uh, it's definitely one of my least favorite parts about society now is just the fact that we're all so disconnected.
Mm.
I hope it's this one. There we go. Also disconnected, right? You know, I can think of the same movie, 1978. You walk outside, people say hi to each other. The gentleman opens the door for the lady, even if it's not
Mm.
his lady. The kids are behaved, the kids aren't running around and acting a
Mm.
fool. There's there's a general sense of chivalry and order that I think we have really lost,
Oh
and
yeah.
togetherness. And that's really a big part of how I want to live my day-to-day life,
Yeah.
and just spreading that as much as possible. And it's the concept of monkey see, monkey do. If you see, if you come across somebody and they're just the nicest person ever, and they greet you with a smile, and it's not anything, of course, like weird or creepy, which some people would say, just saying hi to somebody's weird and creepy, which it's not. Um, but like I said, monkey see, monkey do. You come across somebody like that, or you're somebody like that, man, that shit is so infectious. It's so infectious. You come across somebody like that, you're so much more likely to do that same thing when you have an opportunity the next time.
Mm.
Um, I think that's something that we'll, kind of distribute from our platform as well, but us individually, um, just the manners and the chivalry and the just being nice to people, man. It's on a day-to-day basis, greeting people with a smile, saying hi, even if we don't know them. But yeah, look at me trying to solve the world's issues on a live
Hey,
call.
I love it. Yeah, everything just turned into a competition. I feel like no
Mhm.
matter no matter where you are, you know. Yeah, when I was growing up, I always, saw how my pops carried himself out in the world.
Mhm.
Um, like regardless of what was going on at home or anything about under our roof, you know what I'm saying? Like when he got out into society, um, I always seen him holding the door for people and, making conversation with random strangers at the,
Mhm.
freaking register and, just kind of making everybody feel seen,
Mhm.
and never, looking down on anybody or, looking at that person a different way or, looking up to that person. Kind of everybody was even keel in his eyes.
Mhm.
Um, and I've always adopted that way of, how I view people just kind of as just human. Like everybody is like we are all equal, yes, but we can all relate in our own ways to each and every person, regardless if I've been through what you've been through or if you've been through what I've been through. It, at the like emotional and psychological level, there's a place that we connect. Um, and I think that, like you said, at this day and age, got so lost in our own, problems and, desires and this and that. And, we forget that we are all, really, really similar in what we
Oh,
desire.
definitely. So,
Um, so it's,
yeah, bro. And what we desire and our perceived problems and actual problems.
mm,
Mm. I think about that anytime I'll go through something and have an issue, a problem, some sort of tribulation. Literally one of my first like go-tos is I am not the first person to experience this before. There's millions of people
yeah,
who've experienced this and have come out better, good, fine. And if it's bad, not that bad. And, the I think that's what's so beautiful and precious, but not appreciated about the human experience is how similar we are
yeah,
innately, how similar our problems are. It really does connect us in a almost really, yeah, in a spiritual way. It connects us.
yeah,
We were all created by the big man up there. We all come from the same cloth. Yeah, not everybody's dealt the same hand of cards, that's for sure. But innately, we're very similar in a lot of the issues we deal with outside of trauma. Uh, is just and even with trauma, is we're not going to be the first ones to experience anything.
yeah.
We're wide enough.
You can keep those open, but you can keep the blinds open, but huh? She just went to school. Field trip. What time is that at? What time is that at? 8:15. It's at 8:15, the movie? No, like we leave at 8:15. You have to be there by 8:15. I'm going right.
Yeah, yeah, there's not a, like a pig appearance.
Got my first field trip today.
Oh, hey, Ozzy. Where we going? Where we going, man?
We're going to the movies to see Wild Robot. We're going
There you
to the
go.
movies
Man,
to
tell
see the
Kate and I
Wild
want to
Robot.
go. Where was my invite?
Field
That's
trip.
cool though, man.
Me, Kalea, and Kaden.
That's dope. That's
Yeah, I've really enjoyed being a dad, like in this day and age,
mm-hmm,
because I'm so young.
mm-hmm,
Like I
mm-hmm,
love putting myself in those positions
mm-hmm,
um to impact people. Like I just I encounter so many people on a day, and you as well. You too. You encounter people.
mm-hmm,
Um, I sit with my customers maybe probably a little. I mean, probably not longer than you actually. We have a lot of similarities in our positions, which I really like because we can
mm-hmm,
observe people and just to your point, people come into the store that I work at like their problems are the end of the entire world. Like it just
Yes, sir.
and it's just a phone, and
Mm-hmm,
it's just a phone, but it shows how tunnel vision they are on their own problems. Um, but just to be able to put myself, in, where I'm around, 40-year-olds and, mid 30s and, 50-year-old people and kind of seeing how they conduct themselves. And
mm-hmm,
then them seeing how I conduct myself and carry myself and, parent, and, that type of thing. I just know I'll be able to impact people. And equally, I know people will be able to impact me because, like you said, there's like somebody's has already experienced what we're going through.
mm-hmm,
Like they've already done it, maybe in a completely different way, but it, the same lesson can be pulled from that experience. Um, and so I just really am enjoy like as I get further and further into the parenting community and just going to soccer practice and ball games and parent teacher conferences, stuff like that. I'm not to the point yet where I like conversating with people yet.
mm-hmm,
Like just random adults.
mm-hmm,
Just more of in the observation state.
mm-hmm,
Um, as I as I just continue to grow as a parent and as a person in society, um, I used to consider myself as somewhat antisocial. Um, but like I realized like I can't I can't be my best and achieve my best um, without allowing people to receive my gifts and to be able to receive what others are meant our interaction is meant to happen for us. So
mm-hmm.
I'm working on that, and I just really think that this will help with that, um,
Yeah,
and just
yeah.
continue to relating to people.
Mm-hmm,
Right, just being able to do that is something I care about a lot.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, bro. Yeah. We say all these things about, what we want. We're so similar and our problems aren't unique. But to your point, there's two points here. One, everybody, most people don't think that. Like that's very hard for people um to understand and conceptualize. Yes, come to Bloom, learn a little bit of something. They might get it figured out. Um, but on top of that, it makes it hard to just converse with somebody and people and engage them in conversations because you just never know how they'd receive being told something like that.
Yeah.
You can't just tell a stranger after they, because just in normal conversations, people bring up their problems and the shit they're going through.
Yes.
You as a gentleman, you can't just be like, "Dude, your problems aren't that bad. Get over it." Like that's
Yeah.
just socially, that's not too good either. Um, but like we said, monkey see, monkey do. So whenever it's my turn to speak and it's my turn to go, maybe I'll throw a little bit of language like that in there and be like, yeah, I'm going through this, but I've seen my, some go through this and, I'll be okay. Like I got a plan figured out and just kind of like guide them through your, I won't say correct line of thinking, but just more productive line of thinking,
Solution based.
solution-based thinking.
Like,
So I think there's definitely, creative ways to explore conversations. But yeah, no, I feel you in the quote unquote antisocial part of things. Like sometimes like I just like I'm not gonna get anything out of this. I just want to observe and take in as much information as possible. Ever since I was a little kid, I was a super shy kid, but I don't really think I was that shy. I just like to observe and just watch what's going on around me and collect information minute by minute. But but yeah, that's just me. The service industry though will definitely help you learn a couple things. That's for sure. Again, just for the live markets and I are both in the service industry. Marcus cellular sales and me bartender. Different industries, but people same, same.
yeah, no, I'm glad that I'm in this industry, honestly, being able to deal with people. I, it's funny because yesterday, and this has happened more than once with interaction with somebody.
Hmm.
Um, the lady just asked me, how are you doing today? And I was like, you know what? Like I won't complain. And she
Hmm.
was like, and if you did, no one will listen anyway, huh? I can't tell you how many times people have said that though. Like, and if you did, no one would listen anyway. And then it brings me back to something I heard of. I think his name is Myron Golden. I could be butchering his name. Um, but one of my boys, Dante, actually sent him to me the other day. So I was watching one of his videos, but he was talking about how like just be just really positive, like when somebody's like when you're talking to somebody, like when somebody's asking you how you're doing,
Hmm.
like just be like insanely positive, and they will all like almost like look at you like crazy.
Hmm.
Like if you're like, how you doing today? You know what? Like this is the best day ever. Like I couldn't imagine the day getting better than this one. How about yourself?
Hmm.
Like they're gonna be taken back. They're gonna be caught off guard a little bit. But if
Yeah.
you say like, I'm just above the dirt,
Hmm.
like they'll just, yeah, same, me too. How's it, and then they'll go on about like it's just like so normal for people to as I ask customers almost every day, how are you doing? It seems so normal that people are not doing well.
Hmm.
And like, but when somebody is doing well, or when somebody has no reason to say they aren't doing well,
Hmm.
it's like abnormal.
Hmm.
And so just and we talk so much about mindset, and even that way of thinking on a day to day, I think is so impactful in when we're something talking about like goal pursuit, like how could you pursue something new or a goal um when we can't even see past the current, but I won't even call them problems. I'll say them opportunities,
Hmm.
right? Everything's opportunity.
Yeah.
Even when it has somewhat of a negative impact, but everything that has a negative also has a positive. Every dark day has a shiny one, a sunny day. After the rain clears, it dries up, right?
Mhm.
So like I just love the balance. Um, just thinking back to what you said a second ago, just our creator, the balance that was made, when we were crafted. It's just so beautiful. But how easy society has influenced us to be imbalance, I think, is what I've noticed as I got older. Just with all the highlights, right, that are essentially glorified, and not really just all the lights. When the lights are on, when the lights aren't on. Um, I think if and then we all know we all go through, stuff, but you know, yeah.
Yeah, I got two things for you. Then know talk some charts here for a little bit, but one I do think we're talking about people in society, and I do think regardless of people's mindsets, people are good. People want to see good.
Yeah.
People want to do good. Innately, I think again, me and you being in the service industry, me now for 3 years. I see that in talking to people. Again, regardless of their mindset, they want better things for um, their family. They want better things for society.
Hmm.
Um, but so I say that, and then to your point just a second ago, it made me think of just reactions and stimulus response. I think especially with social media and social media, it's funny. Social media is crafted to touch this note within us. Um, but I think we're in a space where we're in an area where we are um, people are strictly reactionary, and they're stuck in stimulus response. And then
Mm.
simply put, it's being too in the present, being too stuck in, okay, what's going to be this next stimulus? And so you
Mm.
tie that to social media, it makes perfect sense. But okay, on Saturday I'm going out with the boys. Fuck, I can't. That's what I'm looking forward to. But we're so stimulus oriented now that when you project out even 40, 50 years, which is not that long, well, not that long of a time, like not many people are really taking the time and the care to do that. Again, it's been engineered. The system now has been engineered to touch on this, so it's harder to do this than it ever has, I believe. Um,
Yeah.
but thus all the more important for us to invest in the time we spend projecting forward and doing intentional things now for something in the future. Going back to the cathedral thinking, maybe projecting forward, doing something now that you might not even see the fruits of. Again,
For
it's
sure.
it's never been harder to do that, but I think it's so important for us to become less reactionary, less stimulus oriented, and just be very, very intentional. Have the plan, set the plan, and be intentional about executing.
Yeah, I love that what you brought up, that cathedral thinking. It's actually a really dope concept. Just to know like there's an actual like philosophy behind VXT.
Right.
Like like
Sure.
there's
VXT volume
more.
times.
That's just literally it too. That's crazy.
Ooh, just while I have you. Bro, I logged myself out of the Facebook.
Okay.
Trying to get in that mode real quick. Make a post today. Or right now, actually. Why is that doing that?
Yeah, after this movie, it's record heavy for the day. Record, 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 record.
Got all my scripts ready to go. Gotta get in front of that camera. I'll try to be as creative as possible in the recording process. I'm gonna shoot one VSL like right in front of my whiteboard, so it's like a white background. And we'll see. We'll see what else I can come up with.
I still
I
love
just
that mysterious voice. That shit.
Hey there, mysterious voice.
Bro.
I'm definitely gonna use that voiceover, man. Voiceover again, that's for sure. Check your Facebook notifications there and approve. Log in to continue. Why is Facebook so hard to get into, bro? You get the
Thank
authenticator.
Mark. Thank Mark.
All right, shout out Mark.
Shout out Mark. Shout out Mark.
I'm gonna get a code from you. Enter the
Yep.
6-digit code from this account from the two-factor authentication. Yeah. You got that authenticator app?
I do.
Or I think it just sent you the code, maybe. Let me know.
018961.
Love. Bruh. You have to remind me because I don't know if I was just tripping,
Mm-hmm.
not tripping, but just forgot, or
Mm-hmm.
if I've never really had the context. But so the two Facebooks that we have, what's the
Mm.
difference between these two?
The
So I feel like I've
difference
been good
is
about like the last, I think about like a month or two ago, we kind of got it figured out which one we want to use and post on.
mm,
But talk to me.
the one that we want to post on is, hold on. It's the one that has followers and not friends.
Heard. Okay.
So this one has
Uh,
73 followers, but then this one has, hold on. Yeah, then this one has 25 friends.
mhm.
So yeah, you'll see it. I will have to, I honestly will want to message Facebook down the line or like figure that out. Because it's super annoying.
Yeah. I was all good. I was like, that's but I changed the profile picture to on the friends one to the white logo. Because I kept getting confused, bro. I was getting pissed off the other day. It's like, damn, what freaking one is it?
Yeah, I do see that.
But I'm gonna start the Facebook group today. I'm not gonna post the post I'm gonna post today on in the group. Um, but as we move through the next couple weeks, next week even, I want to start to utilize the group um for the like financial market specific um blog posts.
Yeah, that would be a really great community.
One more time.
Well, mama.
Macro minute. Those are gonna be easy. What those puppies said. Boom blogs. Yeah, bro, we got this workflow moving, man. Shoot.
The workflow is flowing.
Everything's coming together. Still want a little bit more velocity when it comes to just recording. Um, but I think that goes without saying that definitely put a lot of just paperwork in planning, organizing, Hey, God.
Well, mama, what? What crazy here? Feeling myself from earlier BT dubs. I like this. I still like this area that we're in, and our macro news from the dollar a little bit earlier, and just the very very weak manufacturing data we got. Um, Dollar on a really strong level right now. I just want to see it correct, not too far. Really just want to see it correct right in this range right here. I don't want to see it get lower than this. I don't want to see it get higher than this yet. Um, but as we think about just going forward, projecting beyond election day, like I see us moving higher than this level here on our dollar. Just oops, let me do this right here. Oh, oops. All of this. I can just see us moving higher than this as our dollar gains strength. So where we are now over here,
Mm-hmm.
just want to see it consolidate. Talked about earlier about this weekly level being a similar level to COVID time. And, you know, as a consumer, right, I want anything as far as, you know, the um just market wise with our dollar to be better than during COVID times, like just kind of using just that practicality of the just how that living condition was. So with my UJ entry, I'm just looking to take it to 149. I'm not really looking to get much out of it, only because we already got stopped up at this level, and UJ still the yen still doing well. Where's my news? There was a news folder. JPY. Tuesday. Oh, no. Be right back.
Heard. Beautiful. New Facebook post out, people. Go give that a read. We're moving to Circle, a new home for our trading community. I'm going to be using that Facebook platform, the Facebook platform, to just provide updates. We'll have just created a Facebook group called the Macro and Forex Trading Collective, in which we will post a blog post once a week regarding something regarding the financial markets. Um, our first one that we will be releasing is titled "Understanding Key Macroeconomic Indicators and Their Impact on Forex Markets." So my vision with this group is to just simplify a lot of these kind of esoteric concepts that and we hear a lot about. Like people have heard of GDP before, people have heard inflation, but what does that really mean? And to stay within our niche, of course, we're tying it into Forex and how these economic indicators will impact the markets in which we trade. Um, right now I'm in a space where I want to figure out how to, not figure out how to, but to get out information about what am I trying to say here? I just want to make complex concepts, things we've learned about simple for everyone to understand, just to bolster the knowledge of anybody that comes in contact with our platform, our page, no matter if they're subscribed to us, if they pay attention to us, follow to us, whatever. And I just want to be a source of information for the everyday people in building people's understanding of economics, micro and macro. Again, that's the vision with the Facebook. I love it. I'm having some fun with it. Why will this thing not freaking let me? Bro, it's literally for the Facebook group, it'll let you like invite people. Let me see. But it won't let you select like invite all. So I gotta click through everybody one by one. So annoying.
One by one is torture.
Mm.
Let's see what this looks like. Just trying to get ready, make sure I don't get Hayden is not late to this field trip because I will be in the doghouse
In the
for
doghouse. It's
quite
never a
some
fun
time.
place to be.
It's never
Never a
fun.
fun place to be.
There's no AC in there. There's nothing to do. There's never any food. It
Yeah.
sucks.
Mm-mm.
Still in this cell. Still in this cell. Let me check. Look at that dollar to fall. Do you think if people understood, well, I heard you talking about the Facebook group, but once
Mhm.
people understand kind of these, money concepts, economical concepts, macros, a little more, that they would be less stressed when they do hear inflation, things
Oh
like
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because what makes us stress? What
Not
gives us
knowing,
not knowing,
not knowing
not as my dad
what's
said,
going on.
not effing being prepared. You're stressed out because you're not prepared. Remember that's a Brian Gulliford quote right there.
Shout out BG.
So yeah, no, you're spot on. You're freaking spot on, man. The if people knew more, um, people would be much more comfortable with what's going on and be so less frightening. Uh,
And I even
yeah,
think,
that's
I even
that's
think
what.
more, maybe even more
Uh,
aggressive too. Like, people get so reserved because they don't know what's going on.
right.
And there's always just, like I said a little bit earlier, and I was reading kind of like a nightly devotional. I'm trying to get a good routine just every night, just kind of reading a devotional. And last night it was just talking about um l- l- accepting adversity as an opportunity.
Hmm.
And so even like, you know, we can, even when we're just talking money and we're talking our economy, like when our economy is down and it's hurting,
Hmm.
there's an opportunity somewhere, right? And the more that we understand and the more that we know how to utilize it, we'll be able to maximize when it looks like there's no, to the naked eye, there's no it's just, there's no opportunity. But um
Hmm.
um because I think about, I was listening to Fink. I don't know his first name, but he's the CEO of BlackRock.
Hmm.
And what I always speculated on this. One sec. Come here, my man. I know I gotta get you ready. I gotta get my crazy hair girl ready. So I always like speculated on this, and BlackRock, they are also involved in like international investments, like
Hmm.
the Tokyo Stock Exchange,
Hmm.
China Stock Exchange, um, because there are opportunities elsewhere when one area is lacking,
Hmm.
right? And like that is as we continue to talk about the macro concepts, that's kind of where I will want to find my foot, 5, 10 years down the line when I'm investing, like really able to move, and purchase currency over here, right? Let it appreciate because of its interest, and then move it over here. And so just understanding those opportunities um, is what personally I'm gonna be able to use these macro concepts and understandings for as I get older.
Mm-hmm.
Still in this cell. About $1.27. So not to my 3% yet in terms of drawdown. 95, 40. Good still. Dollar getting some good momentum here. Gold selling off. Gold is not selling off. Gold is moving up with the dollar.
Love to see that.
What's up, Pretty? I need to get you ready. Shh. Another straight coming. The 5 minute level. Let's see if price breaks this 5 minute level here. Hey, mama. Time is it? 7:10.
Mwah. We don't have to. We don't have to. Okay, okay. Mama, girl, hey. What is all this? All right. There you go, mama. You got that dramatic, mama. Yes. You did dramatic. Mama. Mama, dear, what happened to you? It's okay, sweetie. It's okay for you.
But Facebook is confusing. Maybe I don't know what's wrong with me, but Facebook is likes to hide things for whatever reason. When you post
Hey,
something and you can't find it,
just wait till it's in the metaverse.
brother. Let me view as. Like, why is that a thing?
Yeah. I'll make it right now.
This is frustrating. View, view, post.
Look at that reaction at that level of that level three that I was talking on the call earlier about just the decision making levels and how we can find them.
Mhm.
I just love continuously seeing price validate that just that communication. It doesn't have to respect it. I don't really care about that. I just like that it continues to react once we move
Mhm.
towards those levels.
Mhm. Consistency, consistency, consistency. Seeing the same things over and over and over again. Beautiful thing. I'm gonna lose my freaking mind.
That's good. Make sure I got everything.
Yeah. Quite a day for me on the chart wise. Like I said, I'm in a position right now, which goes moving up against. Um, like I said, riding with the sentiment here at this decision making level now, which it's struggled to break a handful of times up to this point, with very very quick and dramatic reaction off of that level, which is interesting. But we'll see. Pretty light news week on Thursday. We'll have, of course, our unemployment claims and what else? I know there's something else or something else big. Stand by. Retail sales. Retail sales, of course. Thursday, October 17th. We'll have that to look forward to. Nothing really tomorrow. No big macro stuff tomorrow. Here I'm looking at Forex Factory, not my FX book. Yeah, man, we'll look to continue to grow, scale this account, manage it. Um, the managing of funds, the managing of an account. I'm really trying to just treat it like as much of a job as I can and be as serious about it as possible. Just the forming of your general sentiment and sticking with it, most importantly. And if you make a mistake, going to the drawing board, figuring out why, and continuing forward and doing that over and over and over again for all eternity. So that's where I'm at. Where I'm at. I'm heading off to Montreal on Wednesday morning, which would be fun.
Tomorrow morning?
Especially now that the dollar's been moving against the CAD and the Canadian dollar. My money's gonna be
tomorrow morning?
stretched a little bit further, man. You always love to see it. You always love to see it. I'd have thought the other day of going to the airport and their conversion rate not being like up to date, like to the second as TradingView, because I'm gonna have TradingView pulled up. And I might cause an issue if there's a discrepancy. But no seriousness. We yeah, heading off to Canada, so I'll be out and about for about a week or so. I'm still trading and doing my thing, of course. I'm getting my morning sessions in. I'm like that when I go on vacation. I still like to throw in just some things to just keep me grounded, especially something like this where it's start my day. Just sitting here on the charts. Don't want to lose that, but once I get back from Montreal, I will kind of evaluate where my funds are at, what the work schedule is looking like, and hopefully be able to get a couple hundred in the live from there. After I get back, won't deposit before I go. Um, but yeah, still planning, projecting, getting to 10K as quick as possible. That's the goal.
Is
That's the
that
goal.
tomorrow, Wednesday?
Yes.
Thanks, bro. What time's the flight?
9:25. 9:25 is a flight. 4 hours, 15 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Oh, it's calm. It's calm.
Oh man.
Yeah. I gotta do full disclosure to live. I am a cannabis user, healthy and within limits, of course. But I like doing a little edible on the plane, so I got a little treat to knock your boy out on the plane flight.
Feel that.
But
Need
no,
that.
I enjoy flying though. I really do.
When's the first time you flew ever?
First time I flew ever, I believe I was taking a plane flight to Colorado to visit my cousins. And I was probably around 6 or 7,
Nice.
probably around there.
It's
And
crazy.
then, of course, the basketball and everything. You got to be on a plane a lot. Uh, so yeah, no, I enjoy it. I enjoy it. Some airports are better than others, though, that's for sure.
Man, the first time I ever flew was Ottawa.
Bro.
First time I was like 21.
Yeah,
I'm like, damn.
How'd you feel about that first experience?
Honestly, it was like I loved being able to get somewhere quickly because I cannot stand driving and sitting in the car.
Uh-huh.
Like and I just want to be there.
Mhm.
So I loved that it was quick travel.
Mhm.
But I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna say I enjoy it.
Mhm.
Just because I always have a lot of thoughts going through my head as I'm, thousands and thousands of feet in the air. But I always find a time, a point when I can relax. I've never flew, I mean, I flew to New York. That was probably the longest flight I had.
Mhm.
Which was like it was like 5 hours.
Mhm.
Um, and so I dealt with that. I didn't have any issues, but I'm always you feel that you're like, oh, what was that? You look around, like, what was that feeling? It's a bump. Oh, just turbulence. I'm like, what is turbulence? This is what turbulence is.
This is what turbulence
This
is.
is it feels crazy.
Mhm.
All right, I'm still in my entry here as we're seeing price move back into the direction of my trade. 2 for 2 so far. This is my third and final trade for today. Yeah, okay. Mm, mm.
Mhm.
Third and final trade for today. I'm gonna go ahead and slide off here, get to this field trip so that I can go watch Wild Robot. And I will check back with you guys tomorrow. We're live at 5:30. Did we have news tomorrow? Did we look at that?
Negative. No news tomorrow.
Oh,
I
you're
was looking
giving
at
me
my.
a
I was looking at Forex Factory though.
you're giving me a light news week on a Wednesday.
On
Okay, I
a
like to
Wednesday
hear
of
that.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So yeah, we'll be live trading tomorrow,
Mhm.
Wednesday. We'll be wishing Q a safe travel on that live call in the morning. But other than that, yeah, I'll keep you guys posted in the Discord with how my trading date ends. Um, but yeah, good call,
Yes,
good
sir.
conversation this morning.
Good combo. Always is, man. Always is.
Facts.
Always is. But it says 7:26, but yeah, 7:27, but a couple minutes from last call. We'll go ahead and call it quits here. We'll kick everybody out of the bar. It's time to go home
Time to go.
and then start our day. No, but appreciate everybody who tapped in via live stream or our YouTube. Um, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Yeah, Marcus and I we're working we're working our butts off. Just trying to get this community all put together. Get everything in order and get this product, get everything released out to you guys. So be on the lookout for everything on our socials: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and all the above. YouTube, we're going. Got momentum, got velocity. We're not stopping. So with that said, we'll go ahead and end the live call here, and we'll catch everybody when we see you.
Peace.
Peace.